Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Let's start our video with a petty revenge during a divorce. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. I owe you money, do I? I was once married to a very controlling, abusive man. If I needed something or wanted to buy something, I had to ask him for the money for it. That's enough for the purposes of this story. When I filed for divorce, he tried to claim that I owed him $600 for something he'd bought me as a gift, despite the fact that I left him all the furniture and household accessories in the house, as well as a significant majority of the shared DVD collection, both of his vehicles and the computer that a friend had given me. He refused to sign the papers because I allegedly owed him money. He hired a lawyer and spent nearly 2 years trying to prove one thing or another to get money out of me. Everything he claimed, I sent paperwork back to his attorney to prove he was lying. Eventually, when I made contact with the lawyer for something or another, I got a reply back that he was no longer representing my ex. I did nothing for 2 years, and it had to have cost him significantly more than the $600 he claimed I owed him. The day I got the divorce papers in the mail was the most satisfying feeling ever, knowing he dug himself one hell of a hole all by himself. And our second story. Injection molding salesman tries to scam our family company into giving him 3,600 euros worth of equipment. It happened today, and I have to share. Maybe at this subreddit people will appreciate a story like this. I'm a 22-year-old woman who just graduated as an engineer. After my graduation, my father, who's also an engineer, wanted to give me some money to help me start the life I was working for in the past years. Mind you, we live in Europe, so he wasn't paying for my education. But he also wanted to make me kind of earn it at the same time, help me with the start of my career. He has a small injection molding company that had some machines that were not used in the past decade, so my job was simply to sell these machines, then get a certain percentage of commission. Meanwhile, I can work with people in the field because I really want to work in the same field with the plastics as my father. I searched for months and months to find a company who's a big-time seller and would charge us nothing less than the price we were asking for. These are companies that usually charge for commissions too. I found our guy, a salesman, let's call him Steve. Steve didn't seem amazingly competent at his field, and I noticed it immediately, even though I'm a beginner also in the industry. He asked questions about stuff that was written down previously and were easy to interpret if you know just a little about injection molding machines, or just searched it on Google. Furthermore, he wanted us to pack an almost 4-meter-high machine into a way smaller truck because he didn't want to pay us for dismantling it. And with that, he also risks the machine falling off the truck, not to mention a fine if the authorities catch him with the dangerous transportation of a machine that weighs 8 tons. But whatever his company paid for it, he's the one who's bad at logistics. The last machine's delivery to another company happened 2 months ago. Today, I received an email. Hi, this is Steve. So the other company we sold your IM machine to is complaining that when they unpacked it, the machine didn't contain the temperature controlling units. Please help us solve this problem and satisfy the other company and send us the units that were left off free of charge. Insert the other company's email here in plain text in English. He didn't even bother translating it, just copied it from the other email. We're not native English speakers, and he wasn't either. This is just simply rude and unpretentious. Hi, Steve, it's me, OP. The 3 temperature-controlling units were not in the deal that we sent you and you paid for. They are separate machines with separate serial numbers that are not part of the IM machine. We just sold you the IM machine with the serial number of XXXXX. Hi, it's Steve. We talked it through with the customer, and they're very angry still. Even you, a girl in the industry, would understand that the machine could not be used without the temperature-controlling units. I hope it's understandable even for you. The pictures you sent us of the machine months ago contained the units. We thought those were part of the deal, and an IM machine couldn't work without them. Because of the picture you sent us contained the units, you must send them to us free of charge urgently. Also, here's a picture of another machine our customers bought back in 2014, and it had the units when they were unpacked. Apparently, I got him angry for pulling the "you are just a girl, you wouldn't know" card, and the fact that he was asking for 3 temperature-controlling units that are 1,200 euros each. My final answer to him was, "Hi, Steve, it's OP. You, as someone working in this field, also should know even if you're a man, that electricity is also a must for an IM machine, and we didn't provide that either. Oh, and a mold for injection molding was on the picture too. Neither was that sent. We'd gladly send you the units if you can point out the part of the contract where the serial number of the units are the proof that we sold them to you. We just sold you the IM machine. I hope he never contacts us again. Sorry, I edited this one. You can see down in the comments my mistake. Edit 1. For those who think it was a scam for showing the TCUs in the picture but not sending them to him, imagine you're selling your car and you post pictures of the car, but there's a trailer in the background. And after you sell it, the buyer complains to you for not giving them the trailer too. Sorry for my English, I was in a hurry writing this and I'm not a native speaker. Edit 2. For those who are wondering, IM machines are a bit more complicated and more expensive to sell than just simple Facebook Marketplace or eBay stuff. People can only complain about things that were actually in the contract, and the guy himself was even there when the pickup happened. Also, if you have a machine like that and you wanted to produce something, for example, cap for bottles, car parts, or toys, you'd have to make a specific tool/mold for every different kind of thing you produce. For these tools/molds, depending on the size and the form of the product, you can use different types of TCUs because they differ in size, capacity, etc. And you can freely change TCUs between machines. That's why they're almost never included in any purchase. And our next story. How my brother's ex-mother-in-law got 2.5 years probation for kidnapping. So the whole story begins with a beauty pageant for little girls, 2 to 6 years old. This is not one of those big professional shows like you see on Honey Boo Boo. It was a small village fair which raised money for the volunteer firefighters in our small village. There were no prizes as such, but major bragging rights for a year. So you can imagine that some moms and grandmas took this thing way too seriously. There were 2 categories, 2 to 4-year-olds and 5 to 6-year-olds. All they had to do was walk the runway up and down one time in their cutest dresses. So picture the scene. A tent for about 1,000 people, maybe a third filled with moms, grandmas, and everybody who couldn't run away fast enough or who didn't want to sleep in the shed for a month. Of course, the moms who had kids in the pageant were sitting front row center. The older kids had already had their turn, and it was time for the young kids. Out on stage comes this cute little 3-year-old in a cute white dress, styled to the nines with makeup and crap. All they were supposed to do was walk once from the left side of the stage to the right side and back again. That's it. But in the middle, where some beautiful flower arrangements were, this kid walks to the middle, sees the flowers, and starts smelling them, playfully and whatnot, completely unaware of the rest of the world. It was so cute, and everybody was just, aw. Then suddenly, one of the grandmas, my brother's ex-mother-in-law, flips her crap and shouts, "What are you doing? Get off the stage! You tried to steal the show! That's so unfair!" Then she storms on stage, grabs the kid by the arm, and literally drags her off the stage. The kid instantly started screaming and crying for her mom. "Big mistake, Grandma. You woke the anger of Mama Bear," and Mama Bear storms after her, grabs her by the hair, pulls her around and screams, "Let my daughter go!" In her shock, she let go for a moment, and Mama Bear sees her moment for revenge is coming. She hits her square in the face twice with a right hook that could make Muhammad Ali jealous, breaking her nose and giving her a hairline fracture of the jawbone. Grandma, who's maybe 55, screeches and wants to hit back, but in that moment, the firefighters intervene and drag them apart. Now, this should have been the end of the show, but of course, Grandma insists on getting the cops involved, so they take one to one side of the tent and the other to the other side and wait for the cops to arrive. They arrive and first interview a few people to get an idea of what exactly happened. Then they interview Grandma, and she insists on pressing charges. So the cop asks if she's sure and tries to get her to let things go, but she keeps screeching and insisting, so he warns her that if she insists, he'll prosecute both of them to the full extent of the law, which means that's as far as Grandma let him say what he wanted to tell her twice in a row. So he gives up and tells her to turn around. She's arrested for kidnapping of a minor. Suddenly it dawns on her she could really be in trouble here and tries to backpedal. But the cop told her she had more than enough chances to let things go, but she wouldn't because she wanted to get a mother into trouble for defending her kid from a crazy lady. Use these exact words. Of course, Grandma could not accept that and tried to attack the cop, so she got tasered by his partner. Half a year later, she got in front of a judge and got 2 years probation plus 1,000 hours of social work. Want to know what the mom got? A cake from all the neighbors, who all hated that grandma, especially after what she'd done there. Any charges were dropped due to her simply defending her daughter against a crazy and potentially dangerous kidnapper. There was a short argument if she had the right to deck her like that, after Grandma had already let go of the kid, but her lawyer simply argued that she had no way of knowing if the danger was truly over, or if she just let the kid go to attack Mama Bear, so trying to knock her out with her fists was fully justified. Edit. This is a prime example of someone finally getting their just karma, because this is far from the only crazy crap the grandma and her beast of a daughter pulled over the years. Thank God my brother has divorced her crazy butt years ago, and now is in a happy patchwork family, has gotten 2 more kids through his new girlfriend, not his, a girl and a boy, who are the exact same age as my brother's youngest and his middle boy, and they love each other to pieces. They usually can't wait for the weekend in which they get to my brother, every second weekend, day after Easter for a week, day after Christmas for a week, and 3 weeks in the summer. I can tell you X is really annoyed how much her kids love it over there, but so far any attempt to undermine my brother blew up in her face since the kids are old enough to see through her crap. And even if the younger ones buy it, Big Brother comes to the rescue. He's 18 and really smart, so she can't fool him, especially since she's not the smartest. Comes after her mother. Awesome story, OP. Old B's lucky all she caught was some hands. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.